Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome back to Montreal Rides. It's been a while. Did you miss me? Hey. So, this will be a very short video, but it's the first of the season. And also because it's gonna get colder and maybe a bit of rain, and it's already near freezing temperatures, so I have to be safe on the roads, especially since it's been like what, 3 months and a half, almost 4 months that I've not ridden on two wheels. So I am a bit physically rusty. Muscle memory is going to come back within a few days, like riding a bike. But I have kept up with motorcycle videos on YouTube during this time. I even watched my own videos a few times just to reminisce. Now here's the tricky part. My visor is up because I tried to remove and reinstall the Pinlock, the anti-fog layer that we put on our visor, and because it was already like not well installed. It seemed like it was like the pins on the visor itself were too tight for the plastic that you add onto it, and so there was always one edge that was lifted that would get fogged up. So 80% of my view was clear, but the other 20% was still fogged up. And so remove it, try to put it back, and one of the pins snapped off. So now it just won't hold the extra anti-fog piece of plastic on it. And that happened like almost a month ago, but I've been trying to shop around because this is kind of stupid. The anti-fog plastic is $50 and the visor is like $40. So that's like $90. This is a $130 helmet. So that means that most of the cost goes on a piece of plastic visor and a piece of plastic anti-fog thing. So that means you only spent like $30, $40 on the rest of the helmet. Like that's how much the rest of it is worth. It's kind of silly. I mean, I know of shoes that cost less than a piece of plastic. Anyways, so I'm shopping around for a cheaper replacement, but it seems like I won't have a choice. And whether I buy it off Amazon or buy it straight from the manufacturer's website, there's going to be shipping fees. And with Trump's tariffs, it's going to be probably like extra fees for plastics and stuff like that. It's like it's a piece of plastic, god damn it. Trying to see if there's a way to fix the pin manually. I will need the help of someone who's handy. So I'll ask my dad or my stepdad, one of the two. They should know, have a trick somehow, so that I can just reuse exactly what I have. Reattach the little piece of plastic, maybe slightly off, and reattach the same anti-fog visor. Even though it still has a slight bend on it, I'd rather have 80% of my view than spend $80, you know? So yeah. So a little feedback about Excel Moto's winter storage service. And I guess this is normal when it comes to electric vehicles. Now, I was the only electric vehicle in it, and the contract I signed with them was very specific. Charge it once a month. So what they did is forget to charge it the first month. So it was going to critically low levels of battery, which is bad. So I emailed them, and they plugged it in. But then they did not unplug it for like 2 weeks. So I emailed them saying, well, you know, this can cause damage. There's a risk of fire. So all kinds of things. Unplug it, please. You're ruining the battery. Like, you're degrading the overall lifetime of the battery by leaving it plugged in. So they unplugged it. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, well, it's the new month. Let's plug it back in. Or they leave it plugged in for another 2 weeks. And I'm like, guys, did you not read my last email? And there was no action on that email that I sent about like unplugging it the second time. So I emailed someone else in the company criticizing the service department. And poof, right away, like they unplugged it. You know, when you point out somebody's mistake to someone else within the same organization, things get done, especially if it's like a boss or whatever. You know, you want to keep your reputation, so you do something about it. When someone's calling you an idiot, you try to make sure that that idiocy doesn't last too long. And then I told them, like, okay, from this point forward, don't plug it back in unless I tell you to. So they respected that last part. So when I picked it up, the guy was like, oh yeah, well, you know, what we do is normally leave that plugged in for a month, unplug it for a day, and plug it back in for a whole month. And I'm like, that's not what you should be doing. You're destroying the life of the battery by doing that. You charge it to 100. Ultimately, you want to keep it between 80 and 20. But, you know, you can't easily do that when you're managing a couple hundred vehicles. So you charge it to 100. You just plug it in overnight, or plugging in the morning, and unplugging at the end of the shift, or unplug it at the end of the next morning if you plugged it overnight. And then you don't plug it back in. You not more than 12 hours, you know? It shouldn't be more than like 6 or 8 hours of charging, because that's up to 100. And then you don't plug it back in. Ultimately, until it's necessary, until it reaches 20%. But because you're a business and you can't have like the same ease of tracking down everything, well, you do it once a month. That's it. It has time to naturally discharge, probably down to 40, not to 20. So it's not the best thing, but it's better than leaving it plugged in or charging it for no reason. So yeah, I told him maybe next year. He's like, maybe next year? No, for sure next year. Then I explained the whole thing, and he's like, oh, okay. I said, if I come next year, I'm going to change the terms of the contract where I call you when it's time to plug it in and unplug it the next day. Because I have the new app, mobile app for the scooter, which tells me the charge of the battery, the activities on it. I can do electronics verification, firmware updates, all kinds of things. There's a map. I can track so everything. There's a GPS on it. It's a good app. Except for this visor thing that keeps fogging up every time I stop. And I tried to install the GoPro, as you see, higher on my chin. And the problem with that is that I can't reach my visor easily to open it. So because of the angle of the chin, it actually aims down a lot. I tried something new to try to have it higher in front of me and not hanging down upside down where I have to flip the view every time. But seems like I'm gonna have to go back to the old way. Clunky adds an extra step of video editing, which is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but it makes it easy to open my visor and close it. Close it, no problem. Opening it is the problem. And also the vents. There's a vent behind the camera, and I can't do anything about it right now. I can't reach it. Little details to improve everything as we go. Now, it's only been 2 days since we can ride out on since we can ride without winter tires. And well, it was busy at the service desk of people taking out their rides. Just on my walk and bus and metro to Excel Moto, there was quite a few motorcycles on the road. I think there was one last Friday, which was a day before the due date, but it was a nice warm day. And you heard like that Harley, you know, coughing up the, clearing up the pipes for a new season. So, yeah. Happy to see all these rides out and about. So, little details about video release schedule. Spring is iffy. Like for the next 2-3 days, it's going to be sunshine and good temperatures, but at the end of the week, it's going to snow. It's going to go below freezing. Next week may not be, well, next week for me, not for you, because I'm pre-recording this ahead of time. It's going to be like a whole week of like under freezing temperatures, so a no to be on the roads because my tires are not meant for that, and I don't want to be crashing because I hit some black ice or something. So I'm thinking that the first month, for the month of April, it's going to be once a week, and then from May until the end of the season, mostly it's going to be every Wednesday and every Sunday. So this 1st of April is kind of a fluke. I know it falls in the middle of the week. I don't remember when, but it's not a Sunday today for you guys. So expect a video next Sunday. So there's less than a week before the next one. But after that, it's every Sunday for a while. So if you like this video, leave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, subscribe. Je vous souhaite une bonne journée. Stay safe on the roads. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.